Hello, everyone. I'm just going to make sure things are all set up here before I get started. I am streaming from Zoom to YouTube tonight. Just going to pull the chat over here so I can see if anyone has any questions. Okay, so let's get started. Hello, my name is Cynthia, and today I'm going to be talking about the fastest way for you to actually reach the perfect health. I hope that's interesting to everyone. It certainly is interesting to me. Um, if you're watching live tonight, go ahead and say hello. And if you're watching on the replay, go ahead and just hashtag Guided Medicine. So again, my name is Cynthia. I'm an intuitive healer, and I really like to combine both physical and energetic methods of healing to help people learn how to heal their body naturally. Your body knows exactly how to heal itself. All you have to do is either A, get out of the way, or B, move the things that are in the way. So, the fastest way to any solution is to know exactly what the problem is. And so, a lot of people think they know what the problem is. They think they understand it, they think they've found it, especially if you're someone who gets a diagnosis or something like that, because your problems are so persistent that you now have a diagnosis. Well, that's really not the actual problem. And many scientists, doctors, don't actually know what created your symptoms and hence the diagnosis. So, what we have to do is get to the actual problem in order to find the solution, because without the problem, you don't know what the solution is. So, I live my life by a mantra: what you seek is within. So, I firmly 100% a million percent believe that all the answers that we need are within us. Not only are we way smarter than we give ourselves credit for, but we're also connected to our inner beings, to the divine, to source, to God, whatever you want to call it. We have a connection, internal connection, where we can gather information. We just have to be open to it and we have to be listening, and then we can receive it. So, really quickly, tell me in the chat if you've ever had a problem that you didn't know the answer to. Like you have a problem and you have no, or you have a symptom, but you have no idea what the actual problem is. And it shows up all over our life, but a lot of times people think they know what the problem is. So I'm just hoping that somebody out there is going to have an example of this, because I think that'll be really great. So even if you're watching this on the replay, put it in the comments later if you have an example where you don't actually know what the problem is. Like there's something wrong, but you're not sure what the actual problem is. And I'll go back in and comment on it when you put it in the comments. But I'm going to give you an example from my life. So I was in the IT industry for about 15 years, and all I did all day long was fix problems. And people would come to me all the time and they would be like, I can't turn my computer on. The printer won't print. This function in this software is broken. And they would think that's the problem. And they would go to great lengths describing what they think the problem is to me. And 95% of the time, they got it wrong. That was not the problem. It was the solution, or it was the symptom of the problem. So sometimes I could understand if it's something that I had dealt with many times in the past, I could easily pick out, oh, okay, I know that's related to this problem. But sometimes I would actually have to go and sit behind them and watch them do the thing so that I could figure out what the actual problem was. Because sometimes it was they were skipping a step. Sometimes it was they were using the wrong software. Sometimes it was, okay, the thing is actually broken and there's a bug in the system, right? So it was always different. But in order for me to determine what the actual problem was, a lot of times I literally just had to like sit behind them and watch them do the thing. And what makes it so difficult is, again, you can't actually create the solution unless you know what the actual problem is. So once you find the real problem, then the solution is almost like obvious. It's easy. Oh, that's what the problem is? Oh, okay. So we do this in health all the time where we get a diagnosis, like I said, or we have a symptom like my back hurts, my side hurts, my head hurts. We don't know what actually caused that problem unless we're tuning in to our body all day, every day. We're tracking what we're eating, how we're sleeping, what our digestion is like. We're tracking all those things. Sometimes it can be really easy to spot the problem. But most people don't do either of those things. Most people just think, oh, I have a headache. That's weird. And then they think back, when was the last time I had a headache? What was happening? Why did I have a headache then? Oh, maybe it's the same. Oh, maybe it's the same time last year and I got a headache. So that's how normal people diagnose their health problems, right? They try to attribute it to something that happened last time, but they don't actually have the data to support it because most people are not tracking what they do, how they feel, what they eat, what their digestion is like all day, every day. Um, I just happen to be one of those people that does that because I had to. It was the only way I was going to get out of the health crisis that I was in so long ago when I was first dealing with severe food allergies. It was the only way to figure out, okay, what is the thing I'm actually allergic to? Because I had many different allergic reactions to many different kinds of foods. And I had to look at the ingredients in each one of them and try to figure out what the common denominator was. And then I had to test it over and over and over again until I made sure that, okay, I know what the thing I'm allergic to is. And for sure it's that. And I can avoid it. And so therefore I can eat more normal than I'm eating. So the answers are there. We have them, they're inside. And if you go back to my live from last week, I talked all about how to actually get the answers, how to tune into our inner being, how to get answers from source, how to get yes or no answers to start with. You can get more complex answers later on once you're used to listening and once you're really, really used to and trusting of the answers that you get. Because yes or no answers are helpful, but you have to know the right questions to ask if you are relying on just a yes or no answer. But the more experienced you are, the better you get at hearing what your body is telling you and basically listening well enough that your first logical thought might not actually be the answer. So, this is something that I talk about sometimes when I'm teaching people how to actually connect with their inner being. I always say the more unusual the information that comes through, the more trusting I am of it. If a thought comes through to me and it's something that my logical brain would have thought of, I don't trust it as much as if something totally random doesn't quite make sense comes through, then I trust it because I'm like, there is no way my brain came up with that all by itself. That came from somewhere else, and that is not mine. And that's true. And I trust it. And I'm going to give it to this person and tell them, this is what I see, this is what I hear, this is what I feel. And it's so much easier. This is, I think, why it's difficult for me to read myself or for me to read people who are really close to me, where I know them so well. I already know what my logical answer to their question would be. Because it just muddies it up, right? I have a bias. It's just in the way my logical thoughts come up. And then I'm like, okay, well, is this really what they need to hear? Is this really from source or is it really just me? So that's something you'll have to deal with as you're learning to tune in and get answers for yourself. But like I said, the more unusual, the better, because it's easier to trust because it's not something your logical brain would have come up with. So tell me in the comments who resonates with my IT example? I know that a lot of people are, it's kind of a joke in the IT industry when something goes wrong and people say, did you reboot your computer? And people hate it when we say that. But the reason that we say it is because it is 50% of the problem. Because our computers are kind of like our brains, and sometimes they get clogged up with requests, and there's just one request after another coming in because you're clicking too fast, you're trying to do too many things at once, and the processor can't catch up and it gets like stuck. And it has to be rebooted or cleared out so that it can be reset and start over again. And that happens to us all the time in our brains. So it's not unusual that a computer would work the same way because it's doing the same thing. It's processing all these things at once and it's trying to do them in a logical order. And when you send 3 requests at once to your computer, it kind of freaks out a little bit. Just like when 3 people ask you to do something all at once, you kind of freak out a little bit. It's kind of the same. So our bodies need to reboot just like computers do. And that's really what cleansing is about. That's why I talk about cleansing so much. Our bodies, even if you're not super sick, everyone could benefit from a cleanse. Everyone. Because everyone is getting toxins thrown at them all day, every day from the air and water and food. And so everyone could use a reset. So anyway, that is my little spiel about the fastest way to heal is basically to know exactly what the problem is. So what I love about medical medium, which I talk about all the time, is that he gives you the exact problem to what's been happening in your body all along that the doctors couldn't tell you. The doctors don't know why you have arthritis. The doctors don't know why you have severe food allergies. The doctors don't know what's going on with your thyroid. They might be able to run some tests and tell you what your levels look like, and maybe they're off and maybe they're not. But they can't tell you exactly why your thyroid is doing what it's doing. A medical medium has answers. The medical medium will tell you it's because of a virus, or it's because of a bacteria, or it's because of toxic heavy metals in your body. And each one of those diagnoses has an answer. And when you know the answer, when you know what the actual problem is, then you can actually, the solution is obvious. Then you can actually do something about it. So if you have ADHD because you have a bunch of heavy metals accumulating in your brain, then you need to get the heavy metals out. So how do you do that? You start drinking the heavy metal detox smoothie every day for a year. You know, there's the solution is so much easier when you know what the actual problem is. So I am going to do a card pull before I go tonight. I'm going to use my fancy cards that I love, my favorite cards. This is the Food Healing Oracle deck. And I love it because I love food. I'm always talking about food, and I have a jumper. Support. We like support. I always read the ones that jump out. But I love food. I talk about food a lot because we have another jumper. Oh, 2 jumpers. Health and joy. Okay. Well, anyway, I talk about food a lot because food is one of the biggest inputs that we have. Air, water, food. Those are the main ones. And then we have products. So cleaning products, cosmetics, hair products, all kinds of products. So I love these cards and they're beautiful. They have really nice photos and really nice messages. So this first card that I'm going to pull is going to be for the body. Immunity. So this card, it's funny this card came up because I was just reading a little bit about our immune systems. The medical medium talks a lot about our immune system and how like our blood itself has its own immune system. And when you have your blood taken, it actually takes away part of your immune system. And even things like for women who are on their cycle, when they are on that cycle, basically your immune system goes to protecting everything in that area. And so your immune system is knocked down a little bit more than what you would typically have your full power of immune system. And so you can actually get sicker easier during that time. And it's actually why a lot of things happen during that time. So our immune system is really important for keeping us healthy and for fighting off all the things that come in and try to take us down, all the viruses and all the bacteria. And the healthier your immune system is, the healthier you're going to be. So this is just talking about immunity for your body. So remember, the first card that I pulled is about body. So this is saying like take care of your immune system. So for me, that would mean I would make sure that I'm taking my supplements. I would be getting in the zinc. I would be getting in the vitamin C and the B12 and the lemon balm. Those are the four major supplements that I take that medical medium recommends. And that's why I take them. But I have a tincture of B12, a tincture of zinc, tincture of lemon balm, and then I take a Vimergy pill of the vitamin C capsule. And those are the four things that I do whenever I feel like my immune system is being just a little bit compromised. If I'm feeling kind of run down, or if people around me are sick, or if I go on an airplane or something like that, I'm going to be taking those four supplements to boost my immune system to keep myself healthy. Okay, so this next card is going to be for the mind. So this is the shadow. This card, I have pulled this card 3 days in a row. It's really funny. So the shadow card is about what's hidden from you, what you don't want to see, what you don't want others to see. In this case, in this instance, because I pulled this card in relation to mind, what this means to me is that there are things in your mind that you're not shining light on. You don't want to see them. You don't want to look at them. You know that they're there, but you kind of push them away, or you try to avoid them, or you're hoping they don't come up. And when they do come up, you just kind of sweep them under the rug as fast as you can. And the best way to get rid of that stuff is to shine a light on it. So instead of sweeping it under the rug and pretending it's not there and it doesn't exist, when the shadow comes up, when the thing that you don't want to look at comes up, shine light on it. Write it down. Journal about it. Meditate on it. Talk to your very best friend about it. Hey, I notice I do this thing and I hate that I do it. Or I notice I feel this about this thing and I don't like it, but I don't know how to be different. Talk to someone about it and shine a light on the thing that you either fear or you don't like or you don't want. And that's the fastest way to get rid of it. Because once you shine a light on it, it will be free to be released versus just shoving it down. It's the same thing with our emotions. Any emotions we have that we don't want, that we're trying to ignore, we're just holding on to them for future pain. If we look at that emotion, if we let it in, if we allow ourselves to feel that emotion and we ask for more, in the case of the letting go technique, asking for more of that emotion and riding the wave as it comes up and then it falls off, that will actually help us get past that emotion because we will have let it in, as opposed to just shoving it down, pushing it away. Okay, the last card is Spirit. This card is also, I think this is only the second, maybe the third time it's come up, but it's been coming up recently. So I think it's funny. When I pull these cards, my intention is always to pull them for whoever's going to watch this on the replay, because I know that, people love readings and people want guidance. And so they're intended for everyone who's watching. But they also have my energy in them because I'm the one creating the energy and doing the pulling. So this one comes up for me a lot. And it's funny because when I pull it under the Spirit card, so I pull 3 cards, body, mind, and spirit. And when I pull it under the spirit card, it just seems funny to me. It makes me laugh every time. My spirit needs more spirit because the way I read them is usually the card that comes up is like the thing that you need. So, for instance, we got immunity for body. That means our body needs a better immune system right now. We need to boost our immune system in our body. And the shadow, because the shadow came up for the mind, it means there's a shadow in our mind that we need to take care of, right? So that's how I read them. And so whenever the spirit for spirit comes up, I think it's funny. Um, but it's basically meaning that your spirit wants you to connect more with it. Your spirit is saying, I'm here, I'm trying to give you all the answers, and you're not listening. Meditate more, be bored more, hear what I'm telling you because I'm screaming it loud and clear and it's not coming through. So, more spirit for spirit, more meditation, more meditative activities, more relaxing with our phones in the other room and no TV on. So you can feel the boredom of what sounds fun right now? What should I do about this thing that's been bothering me? Or get out your journal and start writing, right? That's spirit too. Spirit comes through a lot when I journal, especially if I do it after I've meditated. Um, I don't I've been meditating for so long that I honestly don't really try and stop my thoughts anymore because I feel like when something comes up in my meditation, that means it's important. It means I've been ignoring it. And that's my inner being trying to remind me, like, hey, you really want to do this thing, so go do it. So I really pay attention to the thoughts that come up and I don't try to stop them. But I really like to journal on them after I'm done with my meditation. So I meditate for probably 25, 35 minutes depending on how much time I have, because I usually do it in the morning, first thing when I get up. Um, and then as soon as I'm done, I just grab my journal and I start writing down everything that I was told, everything that I learned, everything that I examined while I was in meditation. And it's a really great way to get to know yourself better and to be self-aware of all the things that are going on in your mind. And like I said, the things that come up are the important things. It's not usually like, I mean, it could be as simple as like, hey, you need to read that book. You said you were going to read that book and you haven't read it. And that's the message that you get. That could be important because you know what? That book could have some really great information that is going to help you change your life. It could also be, hey, you forgot to turn off the curling iron this morning. Go turn that off now before you leave the house and you're halfway to work and you're freaking out because you didn't turn it off. Those are the ones that I always listen to. Always. Like, don't forget to do this. I stop what I'm doing immediately and I go do it because if I continue my meditation and I don't go do it, I will forget about it. And if it's important, like turning off something that's going to potentially set your house on fire, you want to do it right away because that's just your inner being giving you a heads up saying, hey, don't forget about this. I know you're going to forget about it later. So go do it now. So go do it now. Yeah. So anyway, let's take a look at our other three cards that were jumpers. So support. This is the first one that jumped out. This one has come up for me a lot lately as well. For me, this is about getting support for your healing, your health. I had an issue with my back for like the last week where, I don't know, one day I woke up with a sore throat and a backache, and my backache just didn't go away. And I had it for like a week. And this card came up a couple times under the body when I pulled it for the body, saying like, hey, your body needs some support. So I actually like didn't go to karate this week. I rested more. I went to bed earlier. I made sure and took my supplements. I did my celery juicing. I did a heavy metal detox smoothie, like all the things to support my body and boost my immunity. And then joy, this is something that I've been working on because I find that I work so much. I have a full-time job and four businesses, and I work so much that I very rarely make time for joy. And so I had to examine that and think like, why don't I make time for joy? What is the problem? Do I not think joy is valuable? Do I not think fun is valuable? Why don't I do it more? If I thought that it was valuable, I would do it more. And I think that I was raised that like you do the hard work first and then you can play. Or do the more complex stuff and then you can do the easy stuff. Or don't be so loud. You're having too much fun. Like those are the things that I remember as a kid being told. And so I think that I don't value fun and joy as much as I would like to, because I really feel like I should do more fun and joyful things. And so I'm actually trying to schedule the time in my calendar right now so that I can have more fun and joy. In fact, I may go line dancing tonight after this, so we'll see. That is one of the funnest things that I do. I love line dancing. And I've also started drawing again. I used to draw all the time, and I have this sketchbook. And I looked at it the other night, and I realized that I haven't drawn in it since 2020. And I was like, wow, 4 years? I haven't drawn anything in 4 years. That's crazy. So I'm trying to bring joy back into my life as I work hard at all the things that I do. And then health. Everybody wants health. That's why I'm here to help you find the health that you need. That's literally why I do what I do, because I was so unhealthy for so long and I figured out how to be healthy and I figured out how to heal all these things. And I just want to help people. I just want to be valuable to others so that they don't have to go through what I went through. That's literally my whole reason for being here and why I do this, why I'm here live, why I'm pulling cards for you, why I'm trying to tell you the fastest way to get to health is by finding the actual problem, not the symptom. So that's the end for me tonight. If you feel like that sounds nice, but have no idea how to do what you're asking me to do or what you're telling me to do, or I have no idea how to find the problem, I don't get it, then reach out. I'm happy to talk to you about how I can help. There's two main ways. I can do one-on-one coaching for you, and we can do 1 hour sessions once a week, or we can do just 3 sessions and be done. It can be as short or as long as you need. It could be just 1 1 hour session. And then I also do one-on-one, like an hour-long session for intuitive health readings. And there is some coaching involved in those, but the majority of it is me doing a body scan, um, seeing what I find in your body and finding the actual block to your health. And it's probably not the thing you think it is most of the time. So I can do one of those two things. And if you're looking for some assistance, just reach out. You can message me through Instagram or Facebook, or you can even just comment here in YouTube with #help, and I'll send you a message. I'll reach out to you. So that's it for me tonight. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and share this video with other people you think it could help. And like I said, you can follow me on Instagram. It's Gaia's with an S _ medicine. And just remember that you're safe, you're loved, and you matter. And I will be back